Before I spoke a word, you were speaking over me. You've been so, so good to me. Before I draw a breath, you shed your light to me. You've been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves to 99. I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God.
When my feet falters navigating the familiar valley of the shadow of doubt, again, guide them to the rod and staff that comforts as much as it leads. Should I stand at crossroads where silence sits heavy and prayers return as ricocheting echoes, where faith feels like a dying whisper and the weight of waiting leads to pleads of let this cup pass over me. Remind me of Gethsemane and the freedom that succeeded agony. Shackle my skepticism to the pillar of his promises so that they can be encountered by the hems of his divine garment. Bury my shrine of disappointment to the dust of the cross so that they can be reminded of the torn veil that paved way for grace. And when idle time returns to seduce me back to my idols, remind me that every counterfeit is too barren to bear such a cross like Calvary. Remind me of who ripped the great barrier between heaven and earth, not in half, but rather in thirds, tearing through time, space, and sin just to break the chains that bound us within. Remind me of who makes the majestic yet merciless ocean subservient to his power, still in the very chaos with a whisper, yet still beckons to me into the great unknown where faith will rise with every step still gazing into his eyes. From old to the new, let my memory testify of who split the Red Sea that calmed that of Galilee. Remind me of who sculpted galaxies out of syllables, yet for my own sake left his mouth silent before Pilate. Remind me of the king that we call kings. Remind me. Remind me of who sculpted galaxies out of syllables, yet for my own sake left his mouth silent before Pilate. Remind me of he whose omnipotent being is still humble enough to bend itself into grace, is still merciful enough to breathe life back into dry bones, and to call prodigals by name back home. And when my heart grows cold and my feet betrays the vows that my lips once made, remind me of the pillar of cloud that turns to fire by night. From holy ground to fiery furnace, let me encounter the I am that turns 3 to 4 and allows the fire to consume but still not burn. Remind me of the shepherd whose math defies logic, who sees greater value in solving for the missing one because no soul is ever outdone. So no more will this heart beat to the rhythm of rebellion. No more will I trade my birthright for a bowl of fleeting pleasure. And when doubt comes knocking again, because it will, I would choose to remember the seeds inside David's sling and return to the sanctuary that makes even fear turn to a rebel, the home formed from stones that we know as Bethel, because there lies a solid rock that cannot shift, the ancient truth that never tilts even the greatest of winds. So tell me, there lies a balm for every wound that I thought even time would never mend. That out of it flows mercy like oil from the hills of Gilead. There lies a grace that reaches the deepest of wounds that no mortal hands can ever trace, and restores to you all of the years that you thought the locust had ate. So If the storms can if the storms know his name, then why should you fear when the wind call yours? You are a child of the Most High, the greatest high priest, the Yahweh who makes way where death and even fear, the Yahweh who makes way where death and fear dares not disobey. The greatest mediator, the one who stands on shaken, whose blood speaks better things than Abel, and grace where you are unable. A true God is his name. An intentional artist who never wasted a grain or drop of sand. So why would you let anyone convince you that your existence is a mistake? He's a reckless God, a reckless loving God. The one whose love is so unconditional that he etched 66 love letters with scars of thorns just to prove it. So there are no labels. There are no labels that your past can stamp on you to override the seed of promise that God placed inside your mother's womb. Despite our faulty labels, he purchased you and I from the auction of sin with blood that did not bid in coins, but instead in covenant. So how much more? How dare you? How dare you think that your hands are too muddy to be loved by pierced hands? There are no hands that are too stained, that are too muddy to lift and surrender to the outstretched arms that reached out for redemption. So to the lost and to the weary, to the bride who ditched her first love for mortals destined to return to dust, Bethel awaits you. Home is not behind you, but instead before you. It is found in not who was lost, but in he who came to find you. And he will give you renewing oil for the broken. And there you will find a mercy that still mends, grace that restores, and a name that you never lost.